In the kingdom of Ijara, where the air was filled with the aroma of roasted yam and hibiscus blossoms, the street pulsed with the rhyme of talking drums. Traders bargained under palm leaf stores. Children chased goats through narrow alleyways, and elders shared stories under the old Iroko tree. Festival colored the land. The music was the heartbeat of the people. Among them lived Princess Omolewa, the daughter of the Reverend Oba Adefemi. Her beauty was unmatched. Her dark skin shimmered like oiled ebony. Her eyes reflected the calmness of a moonlit river, and her laughter could summon the wind. However, Omolewa was not like other princesses. She was round and full-bodied, with a figure as generous as the earth itself. Though admired for her grace and size, Omolewa lived in quiet sorrow. For beneath her royal silk lingered a foul odor. Know that even the finest oils could not mask. It clung to her skin like a second curse. The people whispered, "So this is the jewel of Ijara," scoffed a merchant's wife. She walked past, and goats scattered, laughed a boy. "Her gown is gold, but her scent is old," muttered a woman at the well. Princes from distant land arrived, took one whiff, and fled with excuses. Even servants began to avoid her chambers. Her heart ached more with each rejection. But no one knew the truth. At her naming ceremony long ago, the kingdom had and nor a spiritual warning. A powerful priestess named Efuseta arrived late and furious, uninvited to the event. She will carry the stench of pride until she finds true love, without title, without crown, she declared. What no one knew was that Omolewa's jealous auntie Ronke had secretly provoked this cause, hoping to block the princess from ever ascending the throne. Only one person remained loyal to Omolewa, Tari, her childhood friend and maidservant. An offering raised in the palace. Tari harbored her own secret, including a forbidden romance with a palace guard. She had overheard whispers of the cause years ago, but she dared not speak. Then came Elendu, a palm wine tapper. Elendu, a humble palm wine tapper, gentle, wise, and deeply connected to nature. He lived with his widowed mother, who often said, "A good woman's spirit will hum long before her beauty blooms." He was a simple man, dark-skinned and very handsome, known for singing as he climbed the tallest palm trees. One morning, as he delivered his sweet wine to the palace for a festival, he caught a glimpse of Princess Omolewa sitting alone under the ancient Iroko tree. Her eyes met his. He bowed, expecting her to turn away, but she didn't. The next day, he returned, not with palm wine, but with freshly tapped herbal leaf and black soup. This is for bathing, he said. My mother says nature never curses without offering a cure. She laughed for the first time in years. Days turned into weeks. They met under the tree, laughing in proverbs and laughter after laughter. Elendu made her feel human again. He never once flinched at her scent. Instead, he would say, even agbalumo fruit smells sharp, but it tastes sweet if you dare to bite, and they will laugh over it. I know herbals that heal wounds, he said gently. Some wounds don't show, but trust me, they will definitely heal, he said. She looked up, surprised by the absence of disgust in his eyes. They began to talk, and over time, a friendship blossomed. He taught her how to use the herbs and also encouraged her to exercise often. For the first time, she laughed freely, her heart filled with joy. Days turned into weeks. Princess Omolewa and Elendu's bond grew stronger, and they started falling for each other. Slowly, with the regular use of the herbs and often exercising, the odor began to fade. But with that healing came arrogance. Slowly, Omolewa's odor faded. The palace rejoiced. People cheered her return to grace. But with every praise, her pride swelled. She began to mock Elendu's simplicity. One evening, while she was alone admiring herself, one could hear her speaking to herself. So I can be this beautiful. Take a look at my face and body. Oh, I look so beautiful, Omolewa gushed. But how can a beautiful princess like me end up with a common palm wine tapper? Never, she said. One evening, while they were together, Omolewa made a silly comment. You still drink from a calabash? She scoffed once. You belong in the bushes, not the palace, Omolewa said, laughing. On her way to Elendu, unaware that Elendu did not find the remark funny, he merely smiled in response. Tari, her maid servant, who noticed that Elendu was not happy with Omolewa's comment earlier in the day, decided to caution her. While brushing Omolewa's hair, she said, this man Elendu, he doesn't see a princess or a curse. He sees you. Don't push him away by the way you talk to him. Omolewa frowned. Marry a palm wine tapper? Tari sighed. What has royalty ever given you but loneliness? Elendu brings you peace. Omolewa stood up angrily, pointing to Tari. You speak too freely for someone without a title. Tari's heart broke. She bowed and whispered, the tone is heavy when it crushes the honest. Do not shame him. Tari said again, the throne is heavy when it crushes the honest. Omolewa scoffed. Why should I marry a palm wine tapper when I can be queen one day? Tari, please, just leave me alone and stay out of this. One evening, Omolewa's father summoned her. Words had spread that her odor was fading. Chief suggested marrying her off to the prince of Adeniyi village to strengthen alliance. The king agreed. But Omolewa had tasted status and she wanted more. She accepted to marry the prince of Adeniyi village without thinking twice. She cast Elendu aside and accepted the hand of Prince Odour, a charming royal from Adeniyi village. Yet Odour was cruel behind his smile. He insulted servants, mocked villagers, and treated Tari with disdain. At a grand feast, Omolewa publicly humiliated Elendu. A man with callous hands should never dream of queens, she declared. Elendu, who was also present there, knew that Princess Omolewa was indirectly talking to him, but he wondered the sudden behavior of Omolewa and why she treated him that way, even in the presence of everyone. The crowd laughed. Elendu said nothing, but the sadness in his eyes cut deep. The next morning, he vanished, leaving behind only a wooden comb he had carved for her. The wedding day arrived. Drums beat and dancers twirled. Omolewa walked the ceremonial path looking so beautiful. But just as she neared the altar, the stench returned. Foul and potent. Gasps echoed, whispers spread. Even Prince Odour recoiled. Some fruit look ripe until you open them. What is this smell? He sneered. Thunder cracked and a sudden storm swept through the skies. The voice of Ephesitan echoed. You were healed by love, but you chose pride. Now you shall lose both. The storm destroyed the altar. Odour fled. The wedding was over. The kingdom was humiliated. The prince refused to continue. The wedding collapsed. As the guests despaired, villagers began again. Even royalty can't escape a bad sense. She chased a man who loved her for a prince who couldn't stand her. A crown can't mask character, the villagers said. Tari revealed the truth of Aunty Ronke's treachery. Aunty Ronke was banished, caused to wander the palace wall, whispering nonsense to herself, forgetting by the gods she once attempted to bribe. Omolewa ran to her chamber and wept alone. Days later, she returned to the Iroko tree where she sat with Elendu always. But he was gone. Words in the village said he had stopped tapping palm wine and left for a distant town, never to return. Tari the maid servant left too, her silence more painful than her absence. Omolewa sat beneath the Iroko tree where laughter once bloomed, crying, I traded kindness for crown and lost them both, she whispered. He saw beauty in my name and I mocked it, she cried. If I could turn back, I would choose the man who chose me. But time only walks forward, never backward. And Omolewa, she remained trapped in fine clothes and foul whispers, haunted not by what she was, but by who she pushed away. Omolewa remained in the kingdom, wrapped in silk and sadness, her scent never lifting again, for what the herbs could not cleanse the heart refused to release. Omolewa, shamed and broken, left the palace. She roamed distant village, eating scraps and sleeping in forest. Nobody wanted to associate with her because the smell that lingered around her was so strong. Years passed. One day, while returning the village, she stumbled upon Elendu's abandoned hut. Inside, she found the wooden comb and a dried flower tied with a ribbon. She wept. An old seer appeared. What you lost was not love, it was humility, he said. Omolewa cried her eyes out in regret. When Omolewa finally returned to Ijara, she found Elendu older, stronger, and smiling. He was betrothed to a healer who had cared for his ailing mother. I am sorry, Omolewa whispered to Elendu. Elendu looked at her with gentle eyes. I once loved you, Omolewa, but I now love peace. And so the tale of the fat princess with the coarse scent lived on in Ajara told as a gossip, but as a tale of pride, redemption, and the kind of love that sees beyond flesh and crown.